Hi there, beautiful souls watching. Welcome and thank you. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So, this is about the hidden messages in movies. There is, besides many other kind of unwritten cosmic laws, this one law that both sides, so to speak, so the light side and the dark side, they have to announce what they are doing as their next step in their agenda. And how do they do that? Well, they rely on creative people like poets, writers, musicians, and the movie makers. And these people might think, they had a great idea in one of their dreams and they could make a movie out of that. But in my eyes, it's most often the inspiration from one or the other side. Of course, then it's mostly wrapped into that whole Hollywood stuff with a lot of explosions and fire, and has to be a love story and whatever. But there are so many hidden messages in movies, and as an ex-graphic designer, I'm a very visual person, and I love to see movies. That's kind of stepping aside from my own ego and diving into the story of someone else or something else, and being rid of myself for at least 1 or 2 hours. So I wouldn't even call myself awakened. I don't know. I cannot put my finger onto an event or an experience that was like that, like Eckhart Tolle described or some others. To me, it is more like, a continuous process of awakenings, and it's still carrying on. And it started some years ago. In the COVID period, I had a really great rush because then I was free of obligations and had a lot of time. And like many others, I spent this time in front of my computer screen researching all the stuff I was interested in because then I suddenly had time. And well, as I love to see movies, there are a lot of movies where suddenly, without me doing anything, the dots connect and I see stuff in there, even if I saw the movie for the second or third time, which I sometimes do when I like a movie very much. I view it again a second or a third time. I saw suddenly stuff and scenes I had not noticed before. It's the same like reading a book. Maybe once a year or every 2 years, there are still the same letters printed in there, but you have changed. So now suddenly you are able to grasp deeper meanings, hidden connections, and things like that. So to get an idea maybe about this whole Draco-reptilian stuff and alien greys and abductions, there is this film called Jupiter Ascending. A typical kind of Hollywood story from a cleaning woman that suddenly steps into all of this, and in the end it turns out that via her bloodline or something like that, she's kind of the owner of the earth, and she comes in contact with all kinds of beings, and of course there is some kind of ruling class. Seems to me pretty much like the Anunnaki that are using Earth as their own territory, and they use humans like farm animals, like cattle, and It's not very nice. Some things you see in there, like harvesting the loosh, the energy of the humans. This is not very comfortable to watch, but you get a pretty good idea how Draco reptilians look like. Some have wings, not all, and some have a tail, and they're depicted quite close to the original in that film Jupiter Ascending. Also, the Greys working as their minions in abductions. And there was one scene that really freaked me out when I saw it the first time. It's a very short scene. It's in the end when this young woman, Jupiter, is in the space station of these kind of rulers of Earth, and everything is exploding. And then some positive beings connected with her come in and want to rescue them on their spaceship. And the pilot of that spaceship is shown only for a few seconds, I think. And he freaked me out because he looked like a human body with kind of an elephant head with this longer nose. And that reminded me so much of the Indian Hindu god Ganesha with the elephant head. And I knew in that moment, like clear knowing, you don't know from where you know that, you just know it, you can't explain it. I knew that that was a real depiction and that a race like that exists. And the reminding of the Hindu god Ganesha was just some more confirmation for me, because I found out with my little knowledge and study in Hindu traditions and Hindu texts that a lot of the Hindu knowledge is very, very close to truth, and they still have a lot of stories that are to us Westerners depicted as fantasy or science fiction or whatever, aka unreal, but they have history, real messages, real depictions. So that's one of the films where you can get a good idea about what's going on about Earth and who wants to rule it and for what reason and what agenda and stuff like that. And there is also another movie. I also like very much cartoon movies and children's movies. Probably you know about the funny movie Monster Incorporation. There are all these demons. Some look very frightening, others not so much frightening. And they live in their own world or realm, and they have technology. They can walk through doors into the human world, and they use very often the doors of the closet in a child's bedroom, and then they come out and scare the kids so that they scream, with fright and horror. And they kind of collect this scream and fright and fear energy in some kind of vessel, and by this energy they kind of maintain their whole world. And that's quite true, if you strip away the layer of the characters, how they look like. It's the agenda that other beings harvest our energy, or like in the Matrix, we are the batteries, and they use it for whatever. And then in the end of the film Monster Incorporation, they find out that if they do not scare the kids and they laugh with joy, they can harvest much more and higher energy, so they don't have to scare them any longer. And that's kind of a wonderful solution, because it's all about energy, the whole universe, everything is energy. So we live much better in higher frequency energy like joy, and the negative ones, if they can't adapt to that, well, then they have to fade away. But if they can adapt, then there is a much more positive outcome. And there is also a lot of stuff in the Harry Potter movies. Um, some of the things I learned during my mediumship trainment, they are depicted in the Harry Potter movies, and I don't know whether J.K. Rowland really consciously channeled this information or was inspired to write it like that, and where did this inspiration come from? I think from Spirit World, giving us hints and announcing what it's all about and where it's going towards and stuff like that. So now I have to look at my little list. What else did I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, also in Karate Kid there is a lot of stuff, and there is this one old movie from, I think it's called They See. It's the story of a guy who accidentally, but there are no accidents, it's all synchronicity. He finds a box with sunglasses, and when he puts one of them on just for a trial, he suddenly sees different stuff. Where there was former plates of advertisement, he suddenly saw kind of hypnotic commands like obey and buy and stuff like that. And there is so much in this old movie that, well, it blew my mind. And at the moment in Germany, they're even repeating the older Doctor Who series with who's he called? With the actor David Tennant. And that freaks me out because a former partner of mine really looked exactly like David Tennant. Only that my partner had blue eyes and blonde hair, while David Tennant has brown hair and brown eyes. But the gestures and the mimic are so close, as if they were doppelgangers. So I find so much stuff in these old Doctor Who series that it's really blowing my mind. There is one episode with a short appearance of kind of zombie-like humans. All the zombie films kind of, well, they took their ideas from there and made whole series and a lot of movies about this one short episode in one of the older Doctor Who series. And it's going on and on and on. Not everything, of course. You have to kind of watch this with some kind of discernment. And I don't even have to use my discernment, because the things that suddenly are connecting the dots, they just jump at me and I see them for what they are. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Don't put everything in the movies into the realm of fantasy, because there is via inspiration from higher realms, spirit world, both sides, dark and light, a lot of disclosure and hidden meanings and messages and hidden truth that you can find. So that's it for today. Maybe you will have a different look at some of your favorite movies now and watch them again with a different view and a different attitude, and more open to these wondrous hidden messages in movies. Thank you for watching. Blessings, love and light to you on your soul path. dear, beautiful souls. Bye.